Hi everyone, my name is Zack. I am a seminarian for the Diocese of Marquette, and also this summer I'm serving as the Totus Tuus intern. So you may have seen me in a few of the different videos I've been featured helping out with all the different teams, but mainly I've been behind the scenes working on making sure all of our YouTube links are up and running and working on our email listing that you've been receiving if you've been checking out our videos, as well as making sure our website is up and navigable and easy to use, hopefully for all of you, and then also just supporting our wonderful team of missionaries that we have, 3 different teams working and serving our diocese this summer. It's been such a joy and a pleasure to be able to do that. And so today I'm just going to be sharing a little bit with you of what has been like for me, but also in particular about my journey of discernment and vocation and the call that God has placed on my heart to one day hopefully serve Him in the priesthood. So growing up, I was the oldest of 4 in my family. I had 3 younger siblings, and then my mom is actually the director of religious education at my parish, and then my dad is a police officer. So growing up in my family, there was a pressure, especially on me, I felt, that I had to just be like perfect. I had to do everything right. My mom was like the church lady, and my dad is a police officer, and I'm the oldest, so my younger siblings look up to me. I have to be the role model. And so growing up, that was all kind of like a pressure on me. We went to church every Sunday, and we'd pray before bed and before meals. And so the faith was like a part of who I was. But to me, I just thought like I just had to do everything right, and that's what would make God happy. If I just did everything exactly as I was supposed to, then God would love me. And so that was kind of my mindset. I was really excited when I got to receive my first communion in 2nd grade, and immediately after I became an altar server, and I would altar serve as much as I could because I just loved being able to help out the priest and serve at the altar. And I just thought, okay, like if I just keep doing everything exactly right, just like this, everything will turn out great. Like then God will love me if I do this, this, and this. And so that was my image, that was my mindset of who God was and what I had to do to earn His love. That's what I thought I had to do. And so that mindset really continued in me, especially going into even into middle school and even into high school, that I thought I had to live up to this kind of perfect image of who I was supposed to be so that God would love me, so that my family would love me, so my siblings would love me, and I just had to live up to those expectations. But I think through it all, the Lord was really working and calling me deeper. And that especially changed as I was going into high school. We had a lot of different priests that I had encountered at my parish. A lot of them didn't stay very long, so I had seen them and I knew who the priests were, but I hadn't really developed really like a friendship or relationship with any of the priests. And so finally, as the Lord was kind of putting this call on my heart more seriously, I started to ask questions like, oh, what does it take? What does it mean to be a priest for Jesus Christ? What does it mean to serve and to love His people with all of your heart? And I began to kind of like ask and pray with these questions and ask priests about that. And so the biggest moment for me was going into my sophomore year of college. There was a priest who really, really just took that time to invest in me. We would meet like every Tuesday for lunch, or we would go on hikes together, and we would just spend time together. And I just started to realize like, oh my gosh, this is a normal man who has followed God's call to the priesthood, but he's someone that I can hang out with. He's someone I can converse with, have a relationship with. And I realized that it isn't as far off as what I originally thought. Like that's something that, maybe I could actually do this someday. And it began to become a reality. Began to be something that the Lord had put in my heart that, wow, you could actually do this, Zach. And I want you. I'm calling you. Come follow me. And so through just a growth in prayer, just taking time every day, especially in college, of even just 10 or 15 minutes, I would set aside, like, I am going to go to the church and I'm going to pray, whether that be in adoration or even just time in front of the tabernacle or just quiet in my room, whatever that took, making that effort to do that. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. I think sometimes we think to be holy, like you have to do all these huge things. You have to have big miracles happen, or you need to be able to like just be able to kneel for 2 hours straight and just, I got it out. But really, like the Lord is just calling just in baby steps, one step at a time, just to love Him and to open up to that relationship that He calls each one of us to have with Him. And so as I began to kind of ask the question, like, okay, God, like, what do you want me to do with my life? I really wanted to know. I really wanted to find out. Like, God, like, please tell me. I need to know. And I think that the answer kind of came, especially through examining how the Lord had made me, how He had made you. What are the desires? What are the things that make you come alive, that bring you joy? Your talents, your skills, the things that He's given you. He wants us to use those to the best of our abilities to serve Him and to serve His church. And so as I was kind of praying with that, I was realizing, wow, I was asking the wrong question. It's not about what I want to do with my life, but it's asking God, what do you want me to do? What have you made me for? And that question just changed my life. when I changed and asked that question, God, what do you want me to do? And that's what I want, because ultimately he has the greatest plan for us in each of our lives, and he wants what's best for us, right? So if we're going to follow that, and if we follow his plan, it's what's going to ultimately make us the most happy, the most joyful, and be the best that we can be. And so as I was praying with this, and I thought about the priesthood and the priests I had met that had been an influence on me, and I realized, God, if this is what you're calling me to, then there's nothing better I could do with my life. Nothing. Because that's what you want me to do, then you better believe I'm going to give it my best, and I'm going to give it my best shot. And so that was kind of my mindset. And I realized also, going back to that theme of feeling I had to be perfect, I had to live up to these expectations, just to encourage you that in that time, in that kind of depression, in a sense, or in that kind of like feeling of I'm not good enough, that the Lord meets us where we're at. Because if you wait until you're perfect to follow your vocation, or to listen to God's call, or to pray, like, I have to get my stuff together before I can talk to God about it, then it's never going to happen, because we're never going to be perfect without the Lord, right? Like, so it's just this like kind of paradox of I can't do this by myself. None of us can. But knowing and trusting that the Lord is enough for us, that he has a plan for us, and that when we entrust all of ourselves to him, that he will provide. And so through that, I realized, okay, like, I don't have to wait around anymore. Like, I'm not perfect right now, but that doesn't matter, because the Lord will work in me, and he will work in my heart, and he will make me into the man that he has called me to be. And so from that point on, I just continued to grow in my prayer, my desire to become more like Jesus, and felt this just call of the priesthood to be able to give my whole life, just as Jesus gave his whole life for us. To imitate him as a priest is to just lay down your life for the bride, the church. And so that is the joy that I have, that I am so excited for all the aspects of the priesthood, from being the joy of a baptism to the sorrow and the mourning of a passing of a loved one at a funeral, to walking with a couple as they get prepared for marriage, the mercy of the sacrament of confession, and the form of the sacrifice of the Mass that the priest gets to celebrate in the person of Jesus Christ. And so all of these facets just like amaze me, and I want to continue to learn and grow more, and especially after my first year of seminary, just continuing to pursue that call that the Lord has placed on my heart, trusting in him, that is continuing to surrender to him and to trust that he is enough for us, is what is going to bring us the most joy. And so I want to leave you with just this one quote that I think really, really kind of embodies what I've just been kind of sharing, especially in my vocation, hopefully in your calling as well. No matter where you're at in life right now, that God just wants all of you. And so what does that mean? That means if we bring him all that we have, and then he will give us what we need. So bring to him what you have, and then he will give you what you need. So just trusting that the Lord is going to be providing for you, that he calls each one of us, no matter where we're at in life, to continue to follow him in holiness and to pursue him with all that we are. So I hope you've been enjoying our videos, especially this week. We've been doing a lot about vocations and sharing how the Lord has worked and moved in our lives. So I pray for all of you who will be watching this, whether this summer or in the future, that God will continue to pour out his love upon you, that you may trust him in all that you do and know that he loves you very much. Jesus, I trust in you. May God bless you and watch over you, and may you one day join all of us in the kingdom of heaven together. Can't wait to see y'all there.